Have you ever noticed? There are people who go on trips, eat amazing food, celebrate birthdays, but never post a single photo? No selfies. No photo dump. No feeling cute today. Almost like they're living a completely different version of life. So the question is, why do some people choose not to show themselves online at all? In a world where sharing is normal, where people document everything, from their morning coffee to their late night thoughts, choosing not to post your own photos almost feels unusual. Sometimes people assume they must be shy. Maybe they're insecure or just antisocial. But psychology suggests something deeper, because not posting yourself online isn't always about fear. Sometimes it's about control. Sometimes it's about identity. And sometimes it's about protecting something most people don't even realize they're losing. Imagine this. Two friends go on the same trip. One spends time finding the perfect angle, adjusting lighting, taking 20 photos to post one. The other? They're just there, watching the sunset, feeling the wind, laughing without thinking, should I capture this? Same moment. Completely different experience. Psychologists call this difference living for the experience versus living for the audience. People who don't post their photos often lean toward the first. They don't feel the need to convert moments into content. For them, the memory itself is enough. Here's something interesting. Not everyone sees social media as harmless. For some people, posting a photo feels like opening a window into their personal life. And once it's out there, it's no longer fully theirs. These people value privacy on a deeper level, not because they're hiding something, but because they believe not everything meaningful needs an audience. In fact, research shows that people who value privacy highly tend to feel more in control of their lives and less dependent on external validation. To them, sharing less is a form of self-respect. Now, here's a paradox. You might think, people who don't post themselves lack confidence, but sometimes it's the opposite. Because think about it. If someone doesn't need likes, comments, or reactions to feel good about themselves, what does that say? It suggests their self-worth comes from within, not from a screen. Psychologists often link this to something called internal validation. It's when your sense of value isn't dependent on how others perceive you. So while one person posts to feel seen, another person feels seen without posting anything at all. Let's be honest. Most photos on social media aren't reality. They're highlights, edited, filtered, cropped. The perfect second from an imperfect day. Some people become deeply aware of this. And once they see it, they can't unsee it. So instead of participating in that cycle, they step back. They choose not to build a curated version of themselves because they'd rather be real and private than perfect in public. Posting a photo seems simple, right? But think about everything behind it. Choosing the photo, editing it, writing a caption, waiting for reactions, checking who liked it, again and again. And again, .it takes energy, mental space, attention. Some people realize this cost and decide it's not worth it. They'd rather use that energy on real conversations, real goals, or simply peace of mind. And interestingly, studies suggest that reduced social media engagement can lead to lower anxiety and better emotional well-being for not posting. For some, it's actually a mental health decision. Of course, there's another side too. For some people, not posting comes from hesitation. What will people think? Do I look good enough? Is this worth posting? Social media creates an invisible pressure to look better, live better, be better. And not everyone wants to play that game. So instead of constantly questioning themselves, they simply opt out. Not always out of insecurity, but sometimes. To avoid unnecessary judgment, here's something fascinating. People who don't share much online often appear more intriguing. Because humans are naturally curious. When everything is visible, there's nothing left to imagine. But when someone keeps parts of their life private, it creates a sense of mystery. And mystery is powerful. It makes people wonder. Idea makes them pay attention. In a world of oversharing, silence becomes rare and valuable. At its core, this behavior often comes down to one thing. Where does your identity live? For some people, identity exists online. Profiles, photos, posts. For others, identity exists in real life, in their thoughts, their actions, their relationships. They don't feel the need to prove their existence online, because to them, living is proof enough. So the next time you meet someone who never posts their photos, don't assume they're boring or insecure or hiding. They might just be someone who values privacy, finds confidence within, protects their peace, and chooses real moments over digital validation. In a world that constantly says, show yourself, they quietly choose to be themselves. And maybe there's something powerful about that. If this made you see people a little differently, or even made you reflect on your own habits, consider subscribing, because sometimes understanding people is the first step to understanding ourselves.